2-3 minutes. Start. Okay, fine. We'll start the session now. And let's see if others join. They'll join uh, with time. Okay. So now, many of you people who have associated with our in our group or everyone, they are having a job and they are not able to invest quite a good amount of time for intraday trading, right? So in a way, swing trading is kind of, you can say, less stressful and more appropriate for those people who are able to understand the basics of the market and how well are you able to then read the market in it. So in a way, it has a higher amount of risk than intraday trading because your stop losses will be high. Then we'll look at the pros and cons, and then you will come to know about it. But currently, the basics, what is the basic concept is that the basic concept of swing trading is that first there is an establishment of trend, right? And then after the establishment of trend, when there is a little bit, you can say, pullback, or when there is a little, the stock is taking a little bit rest, the order flow is not that dominant on the buying side. Till that time, the pullback happens, and after that, once again, after a couple of days or a couple of hours, this original trend will resume. So this is simple and the basic concept of what you can say, the trend that we have in the, we can say, in the concept of swing trading. But the most important issue over here is that it is not so simple because the pullback can be very complex, right? The trend can also be very complex on some occasions. So it is also very difficult to identify the trend. And also, कभी कभी I'll use both the languages in Hindi and English so that all you guys who understand. I would reiterate the points in both the languages. So what happens is that if the dominant trend, the stock goes very fast, then it may just happen that the V-shaped move, it will also correct or go down very fast, right? So many of the stocks you might have seen in this, when Reliance just went till 1400 and just fell 100 points a couple of last week over there. Within all the sessions, it was like continuously falling, and in the same session, HDFC was rising. So this is kind of a swing trading is not just about identifying the trend, right? Because the trend and everything, everybody is able to see in the chart. यहाँ पे आपको जो है सब easily दिख जाता है, right? We will, if this is a 30 minutes chart, so minimum that what is recommended for swing trading 15 minutes, and उसके नीचे के they are very very less, वहाँ पे clarity नहीं मिलती है and वहाँ पे noise बहुत ज़्यादा रहेगा, so you will have a lot of noise, but minimum 30 minutes at least you can start, and you can move to 4 hours, one day, 1 week, or a monthly chart depending on how how big you want to keep the stop loss and how big are your targets. So people, for investing and everything, people look at the monthly charts and weekly charts over there. But swing trading and everything, it generally people take confirmation from higher time frame, but they use lower time frame because then the stop loss would be 4-5%, and that is very big. In case if you have that kind of a huge stop loss, 5% stop loss will just erode your capital by a very good margin, right? So the most, also the issue that people do is that what they do, and that is the most, you can say, the raw and what you can say, the very immature way of trading in the market. They'll just mark the support and resistance level, right? They'll mark the support and resistance level, and after stock falls to that level, they'll just buy an option, call option, right? They won't be able to see how the stock is falling, from where it is falling, will the support resistance or the zone hold over there, right? How was the way that it broke this support zone over there? So this is an instance, just an ICICI Bank for example, I'm just telling you. And in then what happens is that the call option over here, if you can see that the stock fell on 1 April, and on 2, 3, 4, 5 April, around for 5 days it just stayed below this zone. So if you have bought a call option over around 400, consider that 400 as a whole number, retail traders get very much attracted to this whole numbers, right? 400, 1000 and everything, and big players know where the retail players will take. So like for Bank Nifty also, he'll not sell 30,100 call, he'll sell 30,000 call, just for example I am saying, because he gets so fascinated by this big round numbers and everything that वो फिर उसमें जो रहता है कि वहाँ पे he doesn't, logical decision he won't be able to take. He just look, okay, 30,000, now Bank Nifty is at 29,600, 400 point is बहुत है, right? And many people, I guess in March or when the Bank Nifty broke, many people sold a 30,000 call option in Bank Nifty. And we'll just open the Bank Nifty chart. So over here, and in case if there is a net issue in between, just do not disconnect. I'll just use my other net connection, because sometimes it may happen that the broadband might just not work in a proper manner, right? So over here, what you can say is that when the index was over here, it is 29,000 around. Okay, this 30 minutes what we'll take. So when the index was falling and everything, many people, what you can, if you look at the March expiry, yeah, over here, right? So this is what the March expiry around, what over here, right? 29, then I guess the March expiry was 28 April. So when the index was falling over here, and when it over here also, even the 1 week before also, when the index dropped to 29,800, many people sold 30,000 calls over here. I knew a couple of my friends who just have a good salary and they just trade just out of the cake. They don't trade logically. Sometimes they make more thousands, and sometimes they just buy a call option and they make it lakhs, but sometimes when there are losses they won't tell me. So that is the kind of a human psychology that you have, that you will just go without logically, you will just go as an all in or zero kind of an option, so hero or zero that we say in the parlors. But that is not the right way to trade the market, because if the market is telling you something, then you should be able to understand what it is trying to say, right? So if you look at the futures chart over here, and please pay close attention to what I'm saying, because for some beginners usko kuch tough lagega, kisi ko they might not be able to understand some of the concept, but then you watch the video according. It's a process. Trading is not just you learn something for 1 or 2 weeks or 1 or 2 sessions you attend and then you will become an expert in that. No, that is a very you can say a misconception that people have in this market. So currently we will go around over here 29,400, and this is 27th March. Okay, 27th March. Over here, April futures was around 29,500 or 600, right? And this is was at 29,000. Oh, sorry, no, this was at 29,800, and over here it was at 29,800. It's not much kind of a gap that we have over there. But the important thing is that what people generally think is that this level got broken, right? And that is what classic mistake. This was a kind of a new high which Bank Nifty made. So after trying over here, this level got broken, and when this level got broken, many people had entered and sold a call option of 30,000, 30,200 or anything over that when it dipped below 30,000, and suddenly within 2-3 days it just closed above 30,000 in the March expiry, that you can see. So that is what the big players wanted, is that if you would have sold 30,200 or 30,100 call, you would have at least been saved by this, by the loss of premiums over there, because in during that time in March when we saw the big move, even 31,100 was the call that you have, that is 100 points above, 1000 points above. It was trading at around more than 80 points over there, right? But then what happens is that why the big players go in such far away premiums, and why do they sell in bulk? It's that because even if the index stabilizes for 2 or 3 weeks, the more you can say जो past are in the money or just out of the money options है, they won't degrade much, but the far away options will just degrade like anything, right? And that is what the big players try to encash. They go for smaller premiums and then they do it in a huge quantity, so that the risk becomes very less, because even if the index move by 100 points, that whole what you can say the call option will move only by 10 points. So for swing trading, what the big players want to do is they try to write the options over there, and if you want to buy the options, then it is kind of a little bit, you can say, more, it requires more skill than selling options. Why? Because in selling options, अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं करते हो, right, 2-3 दिन the stock doesn't move or it just moves a little bit upwards, you will still be in profit because the premiums will be eaten by the market. But the issue is that your risk will also be high. If you sold over 30,000 or 30,200 over here call option, then if the market moves around 800-900 points, your loss will be very, very high. So what happened when the index in early March was rallying is that when the Bank Nifty 29,500, the calls over here, so 29,500, no sorry, over here, 29,000 call. So the 29,000 call was sold by one of the people, and he just came to me with a message that I have incurred around 15-16 lakhs M2M loss in the market. So that's what he said, because he sold over in this kind of environment over here, and when the trend is very strong, like you cannot, the issue with swing trading, what people more enough that they do is that they try to find the top and bottom of the market. When the stock or index जब वो बहुत बड़ा trend में होता है, then you need to understand that it can go till any limit. You can't just predict till where it will go. Nobody last past 6 months predicted that Bank Nifty would have crossed 30,000. Right? Not a single analyst. They would say that, oh, okay, after the end of the year, but if you look at the every year, every analyst will come on the TV and they'll say that Sensex will reach 40,000 or something thousand, Nifty will reach about 12,000 by next year end. But that is by next year end. You cannot take positions considering the 1 year in domain, right? So the issue is that they try to create a kind of a, you can say, mindset, because these TV analysts are very watched by very many people. People follow them, even the people who are aged. I have seen people losing 10-12 lakhs of their retirement money in the stock market. But the only issue is there that they didn't want to invest in learning. They just thought they're very confident. They made 1 or 2 big profits by buying some options or selling some options. They become very confident that stock market is very easy. The swing trading is kind of you just have to buy at the support and sell at the above. It is very easy. When the VIX is low, on some months it will work wonders for you. But in such markets, when the VIX is high and it is very difficult for you to find the top and the bottom of the market. Like over this candle, you can see. So this is, I guess, the 29th March. Oh, sorry. 29th March, yeah. So this candle you can see. So in this candle, if anybody would have put the market order or something like that, looking that the index was gap up, he would have just then get got into a very huge loss. So first you need to understand that trading is logical only if, and it is rewarding only if you are logical. So the important thing you need to understand what are the pros and cons of swing trading is that, first of all, for intraday you need to spend time in the front of your monitor at least for 2 hours, right? Either then that you need to decide, either you can trade in the morning from 9:30 to 11:30, or you can trade in the morning from 1:30 to 3:30. These are the two what you can say time frames when when there is a good movement in the markets. But for swing trading, it lasts from for a couple of days or even weeks, depending on which time frame that you are using, right? So it is also for if you hedge and for hedging, but the issue is that for hedging you need a good amount of capital. You cannot do it with 30,000, 50,000 or 1 lakh capital, because for hedging you need a good amount of capital for that. And if you want to take naked options, then you can do it with 30,000, 50,000 or 1 lakh, but then the risk would be very high over there. So it is less stressful as compared to day trading, because you don't have to look at the market every time. You just need to put the alerts in front of you, and based on the alerts, then if the stop loss, if the stock is near the stop loss, you can put the stop loss and target, and you can just close the screen and just let the stock move as it is. But the important thing is that cons is that you won't be able to write trends. So why it is such, what is the meaning of the point is that the important thing about swing trading is that trends have become more and more complex nowadays, right? Earlier, when you used to see that this kind of a trend, you will rarely get in the market, very rare. This type of trend, when the Bank Nifty just and it established the record, I guess, when it was every session it was just moving up, it didn't close in negative, right? So this type of trend, big trend, we got when in last February and March, when the index just crashed around, when the Bank Nifty crashed around 3,000, more than 3,000 points, and index Nifty crashed around 1,500 points. So Bank Nifty 4,000 points when it crashed. So such type of moves are very rare in the market. But during that moves, also there were a couple of traders who had made around 50% of their big capital. So they have capital in crores, and during that time they made 50% of the capital. And 2-3 traders I know, the big traders, who they are in Twitter and everything, they went for a holiday after that. For 1 month they didn't trade in the market, because the market has given you the 6 months of reward in just couple of days, right? In just 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it has given you what is the worth of 6 months or more than 6 months of reward. And that was a one directional move. So over here also, one who had bought, one who has sold the put option and everything heavily, who would have made a very good profit. The important thing in realizing is that nowadays, because of the algo trading and everything, ये जो रहता है इसका जो swing trading का आपका जो as in वो रहता है, वो थोड़ा complicated हो गया. And अभी क्यों complicated हो गया? क्योंकि VIX ज़्यादा है. So you need to be in a way little bit cautious, and you need to have a proper system in place, right? You need to understand कि कब हमें trade नहीं करना, right? Because what will happen is that the markets, अभी आपने देखा होगा कि बैंक निफ्टी कभी नीचे आ जाता है, and then suddenly after 2-3 days it just rallies like hell, right? बहुत ऊपर वो fast चले जाता है. So the important thing about it is that you need to see the price action in a very minute and a logical way over there at different critical zones and everything. Then only you would be able to make the good decisions and logical decisions over there. So now overnight risk is there. If the stock opens the gap up, gap down, like for what happened in demonetization, what happened in surgical strikes, so anything, but whatever that we have, there might be some of the if there is some, you can say, event with respect to company, like what happened with Dr. Reddy's, when there is a news that license got cancelled, or there is a FDA inspection, then the stock will open with a gap down of 3, 4, 5% points. So you can't help that. In Sun Pharma also, you can't help that. You have to just accept the risk, and then you have to get out of the stock. You can't just hold, and you can just say that okay, it will come back again, because it is not so easy. It will come back, but it will come back after a couple of months, and many people don't have that kind of a capital or this to take losses in lakhs and hold it, right? So what is the 11 commandments of swing trading? Then after that we'll come to the system and everything. So first is that your trade should always, most of the time, should be in the direction of the market. So it can be either, if you want to trade a pullback, right? Trading pullback, and when it becomes oversold and overbought or something like that in that territory, then you should be able to first be very cautious, because the dominant trend can resume in any time, right? So what happened with Bank Nifty over this period, यहाँ पे आपने देखा होगा कि कहीं भी अगर हम शॉर्ट करने का ट्राई किया, अगले दिन गैप अप मिल रहा है, कहीं भी शॉर्ट कर रहा था, अगले दिन वो भाग रहा था. तो it becomes very very difficult for us to take contra trading in this kind of a market. But April में, if you have done contra trading, Even if you are sold over here, market for एक दो दिन ऊपर रहा and then आपको profit मिलेगा. Even if you bought over here, market एक दो दिन ऊपर रहा but आपको profit फिर देगा. So this is kind of the phase of the market has changed, and that is the important thing for either an intraday, a swing trader, or anybody to realize. Higher time frames will provide you good entry points, and if you use the higher time frames also for entry points and combine it with intraday also, that will also give you very good entry points in intraday. But the important thing is that sometimes, because there are very fake breakouts in the market, right? So it becomes very difficult for a new trader or something to understand what is going on in the market, right? If after such big candle on some what we have seen in February, the market would have come over here, right? But yeah, would have just come over here for this support, was suffering such a huge rejection from 30,900 levels. But it just went up, it tried over this, and then it came down. Still, it took support double bottom over here. It was unable to go up, and then it fell down over here. Again, if you think that okay, this level is breaking, and if you have shorted over this level, again the market, you would have put stop loss over this, because this is a very big stop loss for you. 500 points for positional is a big stop loss in 950. But if you would have put stop loss over here, the market would have hit the stop loss and then came down. So why this is happening, we'll look at this in a couple of moments. So also, if the strength is high, do not try shorting till the market breaks the definition of a trend. If the market does not break a definition of trend, no matter what, unless what your bias is, sometimes you will make good money, but in longer term, market will just move against your position, and then you will have to then cover that in loss, or the market won't move at all, and your option premiums and everything will just die down. Because what happens, most of the retail players क्या करते हैं, वो out of the money buy करते हैं, ठीक है. आउट ऑफ द मनी का अगर आईसीआईसीआई का 400 के ऊपर जब गया था, 410 का वो 3-4 रुपए के ऊपर हो गया था. सो अराउंड 8,000 रिस्क देखते हैं, बोले कि 3-4 हजार रिस्क लेंगे अपन. 8 अगर इफ इट कम्स फॉर 4-5 रुपीज टू 2 रुपये 3 रुपए के नीचे आएगा तो मैं क्लोज कर दूंगा. व्हेन इट कम्स टू 2-3 रुपीज, देन दे बिकम दे फ्रीज. अरे नहीं नहीं नहीं, अभी तो 2-3 रुपए के आए, अभी तो I'll just keep on holding it and it will come back again. What happens that it will become zero in that expiry, and in next expiry the stock will just rally like that, right? And then that option, the same option will, what you had bought for the March expiry, next expiry, it will go about 20 or something like that. So the important thing is that the time value and everything, they are very important thing for you to understand swing trading also. Why it is important is that for swing trading, only just having the levels of knowledge is not that kind of a sufficient, right? If you just have support, resistance, or if you have good, that is not sufficient in the swing trading. If you want to you can make money using any of the system. I'll tell you what are the systems that people use, and there are many systems, 8-9 systems I have listed, and I'll tell you about all the systems. So this will be covered in 2 parts, because I think that it will be very difficult to cover in 1 part, and also today, like, I am suffering from fever, so I may not be able to speak that much or that louder. So please excuse me for that. But accordingly, that you need to realize is that, but important thing is that you need to understand what is actually swing trading, and what traders, the good traders and everything, what they actually look at, right? They don't look at what is the reports and everything and then nothing. They look at the levels. Levels are important because everybody will trade as per some level or the other level, right? Because you cannot then take a decision based on certain. But then they know about it, since they have so much experience in the market, they understand the phase of the market, when you need to enter in a short trade, when you can do contra trading, when you need to enter in a dominant trade. So what they do is that they combine based on their observation and system. So that's why they have a very good win ratio over there. Then the important thing is that we need to try to enter the trade near the beginning of the trend. The important thing is that the stock will come to you, it will come into notice and everything when the stock has already rallied or it has already fallen down. So what I mean to say is that, so if we'll look at Bajaj Fin. Okay. So over here, right, the first thing that you need to understand, that okay, this is the level that you are watching and the stock is at all-time high. Okay. Fine, the stock over here it went from all-time high, and over here also all-time high 3,000 it crossed. And many retailers also I know that in forums and everything they sold the 3,000 option over here, 3,000, 3,100 options over here. And just one day, it market requires only one day to just put you into a deep loss. And if you are not, if you are egoistic and if you are not able to understand that you have made a good mistake, then the next day also it will just push you into a good loss. Sometimes you might just be lucky and the market might just reverse from here, but that is just your luck, not your logic, right? So the important thing over here is that when the stock is in a way, when it is in uptrend, you can see that it has not broken the definition of uptrend till now, right? It is sideways phase over here. So you cannot go and sell in the market, because what happens is that this is the candle, but this candle doesn't have any follow through over it, right? So it was just the candle created by big players to trap retail traders to go and short it, because it just closed above 3,000. You can see how the big numbers are easily manipulated by big players. And when the stock went above, many people over here they started holding it and everything. They sold options, they sold multiple lots. When it came up, little bit of profit they might have get. And this day, on 2nd April, it just blasted up. So whatever the loss that you have, you might it pushed your losses in thousands over here, right? Because the important thing is that if you are doing swing trading, you are doing over here contra trading, but the market has not given you any signal to tell you that it is a ट्रेड ऑन द शॉर्ट साइड, राइट? मार्केट ने आपको क्या बोला है कि मार्केट ने आपको यहाँ पे इतना ही बस बोला है कि ये एक तो एक वोलेटिलिटी तो आती रहे, राइट? वोलेटिलिटी इज वन ऑफ द, बट दिस कैंडल जो रहता है उसने कहीं भी किसी भी इंपॉर्टेंट जोन को नहीं ब्रेक किया, राइट? एंड द इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट कि उसके बाद यू कैन सी इवन दिस द कैंडल इज लो, बट देयर इज अ बाइंग, इवन द स्टॉक डिडंट मूव, बट देयर इज अ बाइंग कमिंग अप इन द stock over there, and then it just went sideways. So this is kind of a no trade zone. Between these two levels, it is very difficult to understand what is the direction of the stock. तो बहुत difficult हो जाता है वहाँ पे समझना. और उसके बाद फिर जब ये कोई लेवल ब्रेक करता है यहाँ पे, आपका उस टाइम यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम में देखो, और इंट्राडे में भी उसको बहुत you might have seen that it would have got a very good excellent volume over there. So then you need to realize, then you can time your entries based on aggressive and defensive setups, depending on how you think that if the stock is also, the another important thing is stock is not breaking the higher lows kind of a pattern. So it is not breaking the definition of trend. Till this time it is not breaking a definition of trend, and over here it broke the definition of trend, and you can see how the stock is moving over here. So the trend lines and everything, people, the important thing is that trend lines work only when there is a dominant strong trend, that you need to understand. What people will tell you, many people would have also marked this trend line over from here to here, and they would have said, okay, you can see the Bajaj Finance when it broke this trend line, and then you could have sold and everything, whatever. They would have drawn this two trend line. But the important thing that you need to realize that it becomes very easy after the chart is in front of you. But if I remove this kind of a candle, then it also becomes very difficult, because you can see that the rejection is coming over here, right? And then you can see that you become biased towards sell side, that the market is about to make a double top, selling volumes has increased over here, right? And then it will just come to this level. It has also broken this trend line, right? This candle. So you need to, even if it has broken the trend line and if you have taken the short position over here, but the market refused to go down, break this level, and that should make you aware that if the market is not ready to go down, then it might have something else in store. I should be aware and I should be smart enough that if it is and this candle, right? You can say this candle it broke the high of this dominant red candle. So this is what price action, slowly you will need to understand what happens in price action. Market tells you everything, because it is just a collation of information. Market is not there to trap you, market is not there to reward you. आपको trap भी नहीं करेगा, आपको reward भी नहीं देगा, वो just आपके सामने एक information है, right? वो information अगर आप अच्छे से read कर पा रहे हैं, और sometimes अगर आप उसको नहीं आपका एनालिसिस से वर्क कर रहा है, एंड दैट टाइम यू आर एबल टू एग्जिट और आप उसमें कर पा रहे, सो दैट वुड गिव यू एन एज, बिकॉज यू माइट हैव हर्ड ऑफ द प्रॉवर्ब दैट इट डजंट मैटर हाउ मच राइट और रॉन्ग यू आर, right? How many times right or wrong you are, but all depends on in trading is that how much you win when you are right and how much you lose when you are wrong. So that is the only important thing. And what happens, the biggest drawback is that it takes only one trade for the market to destroy it. Only one trade. And it has happened with me also when I was in initial stage. You can see the video that we are uploaded insights into our trading journey. It happens with everyone. All the people who say in the YouTube or social media, they say that okay, no, it has what not happened with me. मैं तो बहुत जल्दी सीख गया 6 महीने में कुछ नहीं होता, right? वैसा कुछ होता ही नहीं, because markets definitely it requires a proper kind test. जैसे if you want to do some post graduation or you want to take a PhD, for example, for that you need a kind of a good mentor for it, right? Because then why there is a kind of a mentor, because then people can make research in any topic. If you would have seen what topics people choose in PhD, you would laugh over there. What happens in sociology and everything, how people choose their topic, the political students and how they choose their topic, right? So they talk about this what you can say the political things, and they try to find there's some certain things I'll not take the names and topic, but that is why it is required, because the system knows that if we give them the freedom to choose the PhD topic, they'll just do anything as they wish, and there would be no such logic and there would be no such proper system that would help them progress in their career. So over here, the most important thing is that for markets, you can definitely try on your end, but it will take a good amount of effort, and you need to have at least a proper good mentorship, logical people that they have, because they would have invested that much time and they would have invested that much amount of effort in this, and then many people will repeat the same mistakes over and over again. All the time they'll repeat the same mistake, because human emotions rarely change. What emotions we have thousands of years back, what emotions we have hundred of years back, and what emotions we'll have in future, it will always remain the same. Just that the important thing is that okay, fine. That what will happen is that the people will become more assertive. There would be, you can say that kind of a more empowerment will happen for the people. They'll become more informed. But the emotions, as in if you look at if you have some friends who have gone to India and outside over there also, you might have seen over there that rarely that their emotions and everything, because as an Indian that is genetically coded into you. So now coming to the next point, and वहाँ पे ये है कि never trade on the short term chart. This is the biggest mistake that traders make over here. That never trade only on the short term chart of the swing trading family. We see that the stock is, if you have a system that is showing that okay, sell side is at 30 minutes, but it is not giving you that proper sell side, you just boil down to 15 minutes and you try to find your own setup. So that is a kind of a suicide, because you should not change the time frame in a way so just to give just that you should get a good setup over there, right? And also for if you want to use an indicators, so for swing trading you can use indicators, because then the price action plus indicators can give you good entry points, because the important thing is that indicators do work well in the higher time. That's why you can see that big players and everything, they have the stop losses in the weekly chart above 50, below 50 EMA or 50 SMA, whatever it is, 20 EMA, everything, and then they try to catch the trends, multi-year trends based on that particular moving average. So you can use it, but and for intraday also you can use it. But the first important core thing is the price action that you need to have. Then also the group of the stocks what you select is that it should follow your particular setup. Not all the FNO stocks will move in as per your desired setup and everything, right? So we have selected a set of 80-85 stocks. We trade only in them. We don't trade in the other stocks. That is what we have created our own policy, and we stick by it because we are getting good results in there. Why do you want to run after 180, 200 stocks when you can get good movements in 80 stocks? You need only at least 2-3 stocks to make you good money, right? So you don't need to run after all the FNO stocks, and for that you need to create your own group of stock. Always, then definitely target limited stop loss is a self-obvious point, and the techno fundamental analyst, that it depends if you have a fundamental knowledge, but this is not that important. That's why it is very low in the commandment. If you think that the stock is moving, or if the stock is अगर वहाँ पे वो अच्छे से उसका फंडामेंटल भी अच्छा है, रिलायंस का अगर अच्छे से वहाँ पे कुछ डिस्कवरी हुई, वो सब हुई, और टेक्निकल भी वहाँ पे स्टॉक बुलिश दिख रहा है आपको, तो देन यू कैन गो फॉर अ बाय सेटअप. बट trading, most important thing, it is psychological. Technical will only help you, but entry, exits, your setups and everything would only pulling the trigger accepting your mistake and getting out of the trade, it will only will help you psychological. That is all psychological. That yeah. So what is the common strategy that we see? So NR4, NR7 is the most common that people use for breakouts for swing trading when it is locked in a range, right? So what happens is यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि NR4 मतलब stop chart periods के लिए depending on which time frame you use, so it can be daily, it can be hourly, depending on it varies. So वहाँ पे if the stock is in a range where it is taking a rest, so it's kind of after a trend it is going in a range, right? And then it breaks out after this, post this level, then वहाँ पे people look for buy in swing trading. So there are different scanners that you can use. So one of the scanner that generally people that we also use is a charting scanner that is not free, but there are free scanners also, I guess, for but they are not, but some very low cost scanners like Fatafat and everything that will give you that edge. So we use this for enough, but we don't do this enough for NR7 because if you backtest enough for NR7 don't give you good results now. It used to work earlier, and that is also what you need to realize is that not all strategy will work every time, right? That is the most important thing. And what happens in NR4, NR7 for those who are new, as in, so you can see if the stock is rallying over here, then you can see if the stock is just going sideways for a couple of 4 periods, 7 periods and everything, and then it just breakouts on some or the other. Mostly the good is in the direction of dominant trend, but over here you need to be cautious because it can be a fake breakdown. Most of the times it causes a fake breakdown, right? So people then at least you can then after the breakout you can put your enter buy over here. Your stop loss would be below this zone, and then you need to ride the stock. Right. Then the even double or triple bottom. This is the most common that people use. What is the important thing about that is that I'll just. So this is a double bottom, is a classic, you can say, that is a bearish structure. So with this price tried to break this zone, दो बार उसने try किया, fail हुआ. So ये जो support उसने लिया है यहाँ पे, यहाँ से trend start हुआ. So then mostly what is expected is that it will go back to the lower support, and this is where if it is suffering rejection or buying volumes, two things can happen. Buying volume suddenly decreases, right, or at this zone, or it will suffer a strong rejection, and that would be evident by a good WRC candle. WRC is a wide range candle that we had covered, made a video on WRC. You can look at our YouTube channel and you can look at what the concept over there is. But the important thing is that over here the good thing is that your stop loss will be less, right? If you can take an entry over here, your stop loss would be less in here. But nowadays what happening is that most of the double top double bottoms are failing very, very bad, because the stock will just go up, it will make a kind of a higher low pattern, and then it will just blast out. Right? Why this is happening? Because there is an event coming up, and because of the event there is a very aggressive position building by the FIs in the market. That's why many of the patterns are failing. But the smart player, what he'll do is that if the pattern is failing, he should be able to trade in the reverse direction, right? If you are able to do that and वो आप अच्छे से कर पा रहे हो, तो फिर you don't need anything in the market. But ये बहुत difficult होता है. It becomes very easy to बोलना और ये करना बहुत इजी होता है, बिकॉज यहाँ पे भी डाउट रहेगा कि ये फेक ब्रेकआउट तो नहीं है. फिर जब यहाँ पे पहुंच जाएगा ना, देन हमारी आंखें खुलेंगे, देन विल से ओके वी नीड टू बाय, एंड दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ अ ट्रेंड टर्मिनेशन स्टेज. व्हाट वी से इज अ ट्रेंड exhaustion will come over here, and that is a trend termination. So as soon as you enter यहाँ पे भी this zone, the price will directly correct to this level, and you will be put into good amount of loss. If you average over here, the price थोड़ा सा ऊपर आएगा, sideways जाएगा, it might fall down to this level also, right? And over here then is where market creates a trap for you, because of the simple thing that you have, FOMO, fear of missing out. So what this Bajaj Fin did in the similar context, you can look at it here, right? 3008 broke, it came over at 3800, right? It went sideways, it came to this level, right? And then what happened is that same thing. Some who might have thought, okay, no, it has broken important level, it will just blast up. Aggressive player might have entered over here, defensive player might have entered over here. The market, more or less, you would have put the stop loss below this. More or less, market would have hit the stop loss, because this is what the common point that people put this their stop loss below the big candle. That is a WRC candle. Maximum stop losses are below that, and it might have just hit your stop losses, or you might have exited in panic, considering it is going to break here. But after that, what happened? Market suddenly reversed, right? So even if your logic was right, that is not important. Your logic can be right, right? Your system can be excellent, but the important thing is that your timing. Your timing can be disastrous. Doesn't matter. Uh, your timing can be disastrous. Doesn't matter how good the stock, and that is the most important thing that as a trader you need to learn. Timing the markets, right? Timing the market doesn't mean to time the top and the bottom and time the trend and everything. Timing the markets is reacting as per what the market is telling you. If it is not showing you momentum on the upside, or if it is behaving, you can see the selling volumes over here, and you can see the selling volumes here is exceeding this kind of a buying volume. So this can be kind of a warning sign that till the time the stock does not break this level, I'll not look at the buying point, or if I want to look at the buying point, I'll look at the lowest point over here, where my risk would be very, very less, because your risk would be below this level. So at least this point, if you want to trade aggressive, if you want to take the bet, this is the good point, but this is not the good point to take the buy signal, considering how the price action is reacting. Even you see Dr. Reddy's, I will tell you. What people say, oh no, the stock market is manipulation. Ye sab, wahan pe, how did it fell down, right? And we'll go to the 4-hour chart. So 30 minutes maybe, I think we'll be able to see that. Just a minute. Over here, right? So now you can see this is kind of a dip that many players जिन्होंने buy करके रखा था, considering it is a pharma stock and considering that it is kind of a, यहाँ पे जैसे you look at the system, it is making a higher lows, right? So as a thing, if you look at the system, you think that it is a buying system, right? But the important thing is that कि आप सिर्फ ट्रेलर को देख रहे हो, you are just looking at the trailer, but you are not really able to look at the complete movie. When the stock is showing you such impulsive move on the downside, this is where smart money started exiting from the stock, because ये सब उनको पहले ही पता था. तो from where यहाँ पे जब आपको impulsive move, या you can see that it is kind of a, यहाँ पे selling volumes you can see it is increasing. Also gap down entry, and वो gap down entry के high को break नहीं करता, right? Till that time, if you are going into the stock bullish, where the bullish candle are not nowhere to be seen, आपको दिख ही नहीं रहा है bullish candle, यहाँ पे कोई एक भी stock ऐसा, बस आपका ये higher low pattern देखते हैं और आपने enter करें, right? So you think that is a trend and ascending triangle, and we have so many such patterns that we have in the market, but market will love to fail your pattern. Those who pattern trading जो करते हैं वो वही successful होते हैं if you trade reversals in the pattern more than you trade the patterns. If you understand what I'm trying to say, क्योंकि reversals in patterns बहुत ज़्यादा मिलता है as compared to patterns, क्योंकि सबको पता है the pattern is visible to everyone. So how will the big players make money? Because उनको पता है everywhere pattern is visible, everybody is taking positions on the same manner. So stock market is a mechanism where it transfers money from one to another. So how would you able to then make money over here? So if you want to do swing trading over here, right, you should be very cautious, and you should be very, as if, because you shouldn't, आपका analysis है गलत हो गया, and if the stock is breaking this level, you should don't think that much and you should exit कर लो, because you have taken an aggressive bet without logic and with less patience. आपने वहाँ पे दिमाग लगा के यहाँ पे ये स्टॉक ने कहीं भी it hasn't given us the bullish signal, right? And this is just an anomaly. Big player कोई रहेगा उसके orders execute करिए होंगे, and the other big player might have lapped. So many people यहाँ पे, one of our mentees made a profit of more than 50-60,000 also. He just bought in MIS and everything, तो वो भी खुश हो गया. But that is kind of a pure luck. He traded with logic. He traded as per the system that was told to him. But उनका मतलब the important thing is that कि it was pure luck that we also agree because this moves you cannot nobody can predict. अगर कोई बोलता है कि वो predict जैसे there are some astrologer in the market and everything वो सब वो बोलते हैं तो उनका घर देख लेना वहाँ पे देख लेना how much they make from the money that is वो नहीं बता पाए right. So the important thing is that why because the market is based on emotions and you cannot the emotions are very actually difficult to predict but you can react to the emotions that is the best thing that you can do right. So you can react to the emotions and then if you react it to the well, the market will reward you like anything. People are there are some traders who make money from 30 lakhs to 1 crore a single year. What people realize is that they think okay paisa bana itna wo sab bana but what they fail to notice is the hard work they have put behind that. Right? That you need to realize. And यहाँ पे जो same single यहाँ पे you can see the volume also. You can see the selling volume in this small candle. It is very very high. यहाँ पीछे volumes देख. I am not sure एक मिनट इसको मैं और रेड कर देता हूँ. Yellow color. I don't know why it is not happening. Okay, no issues. So so this is yellow is the red one, right? And the green is the green one. So what the important thing is that even the candle is small, you can see the anomaly what happened. Oh, okay, this is the candle which was small over here. This right? So what the market did was that it slowly the what you can see the volumes per day ho gaye. And if you want to go for a buying setup in a stock, if there are no volumes on any side, how can you do swing trading in that? What is the basic aspect of trend trading? The trend trading basic aspect is that if the stock is going up, it will have good volumes. If the stock is coming down, it will have less volumes than this move. That is the basic aspect. Na? अगर यहाँ पे ज़्यादा volume आ गया, so then how can you say that this is kind of a good pullback? No, good you can say breakout. So यहाँ पे ये जो चीज़ है तो ये जो ट्रेंड का ये रहता है बट दैट इज वन ऑफ द एस्पेक्ट देयर आर मल्टीपल एस्पेक्ट्स जो हम व्हाट वी हैज बीन वी टेक द सेशंस एंड एवरीथिंग इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू उसको एक सेशन में करने के लिए बट मल्टीपल सेशंस जो होते हैं वहाँ पे वी टेल देम व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट फीडबैक्स और कहाँ पे आपको नहीं करना है तो यू शुड एग्जिट फ्रॉम इट एंड हाउ डू यू शुड प्लेस योर पोजीशन डिपेंडिंग ऑन विक्स सो विक्स इज आल्सो एन इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट फॉर स्विंग ट्रेड इफ द विक्स इज हाई market would be more random. Right, so VIX above 70. So if you look at the Kalbi session on Friday, I told about that. So I'll just touch it in 2-3 minutes. Okay. So if the VIX is also high, wait 1 minute. So if the VIX is also high, yeah, you can see that. We'll go to daily chart over here. So if the VIX is also high, you can see that the randomness in the market. If you look at the March the VIX was low. That's why you can see the rally was sustaining, right? The rally was so sustaining in the market. It was just below also this SMA if you can see whatever that you want, but it was very low. That's why the rally was sustained. But as you went into अच्छा sorry ये उसका था एक मिनट यहाँ पे भी है ये मार्च में right. So in March में you can see the VIX is low over here. And what happened in April was that the VIX was rising. The market was also rising, but the VIX was rising. So that is an important signal that stocks can open with gap up and gap down more easily if your VIX is above 17. So 17 is kind of a, you can say that it is kind of a, the signal that the market, how random it is or how structured it is, that you need to realize it. And that's why you can see March there was a very strong trend. In April the trend is sideways and with huge volatility. In March it might, we can just blast above 30. We don't know what will happen during the event trade. It might just blast above 30 also, and that time the market will open, move like 3, 4, 4, 5% like anything, if or anything happens in the election result. So for range breakout and everything, this is this obvious that you see the stock is locked in a range, right? और range में lock है और आपको वहाँ पे जो चीज़ें है range breakout करता है. बट इसको आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए यू नीड अ स्कैनर. ऐसा पूरा स्टॉक देख के बैठोगे तो आप पागल हो जाओगे. सो वी हैव a scanner for this also, and that we use it if we find a very good setup. So it's always good that you need self-automate everything. If you do everything manually, it will just increase your headache. And if the technology like 5 years down the line हम पता था कि इतना नहीं था, but now this technology is very good. So it's always good to automate some of the things. And if you want to do discretionary trading or algo trading, that is the next step. But the first thing is to first understand the market. Then you can move towards anything what you want. And then there's a price, there's pre-result momentum. So what happens is that we'll look at Reliance or TCS. Many people trade that also on pre-result. If the stock is showing momentum on some direction or everything, right? So here if it's showing momentum, then people will mostly try to take the trade in that direction depending on the sector. Yeah, it doesn't mean you just if it is going up in pre-result, it will go up. Depending on your setup, you need to see a setup. If it is satisfying, then for pre-result stocks you can also go into that particular position आप वहाँ पे ले सकते हैं. So Reliance का ऐसा, Reliance and Ilfi mostly ऐसा बहुत होता है उनके साथ कि people take heavy positions on the long side before the results. Like if the result more or less are expected to be good. So यहाँ पे जो है अप्रैल में रिजल्ट है तो यहाँ पे मतलब around you can see that in the end of the March still it was trying to make a new high. And यहाँ पे बिकॉज ऑफ द इवेंट एंड एवरीथिंग न्यूज आई थी तो वो गैप अप ओपन यहाँ पे हो गया. बट यू कैन सी स्टिल इसने ट्रेंड का डेफिनेशन ब्रेक नहीं किया. सो दिस इज नॉट अ शॉर्ट साइड ट्रेंड. शॉर्ट साइड आपको कॉन्ट्रा ट्रेडिंग भी करनी है. देन यू शुड हैव अ वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट स्टॉप लॉसेस एंड वहाँ पे आपको लॉजिक समझ में आना चाहिए कि स्टॉक कैसा फेक ब्रेकआउट है. मेरी फेक आफ्टर फेक ब्रेकआउट ओनली यू विल गेट वेरी गुड मूव्स ऑन द ऑपोजिट साइड or else market will just move like this. That is also there are techniques to identify that particular thing. Then price indicator divergence, there are many people, I guess you might also be using that. RSI, MACD, so like what we can look over here. I've created a template for you. So आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं कि अगर यहाँ पे जैसे ये है इंडिकेटर इज मेकिंग अ लोअर हाई, ठीक है, प्राइस इज मेकिंग अ हायर हाई. बट द इशू ओवर हियर इज दैट आपको नहीं पता है वो यहाँ से गिरेगा, यहाँ से गिरेगा या फिर और ऊपर जाके गिरेगा. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम फॉर इंडिकेटर डाइवर्जेंस. आपको ये डाइवर्जेंस और 2-3 साइकिल में चलते रहेगा ऐसा, एंड देन द स्टॉक विल फॉल लाइक दिस. वो ऊपर से या कहीं से गिरेगा. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट ड्रॉबैक ऑफ द इंडिकेटर डाइवर्जेंस कि वो आपको टाइम नहीं समझ में आता. आप थोड़ा सा वहाँ पे कर सकते हो, आप हेल्प ले सकते हो, बट द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट कि ये बहुत बार डिसेप्टिव भी होता है. देयर आर सेफगार्ड्स एज इन हाउ आप उसको अवॉइड कर सकते हैं, कैसे आप कर सकते हैं. बट द इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट एटलीस्ट इट विल प्रोवाइड यू सम लॉजिकल बेसिस दैट यू नीड टू लुक, यू नीड डोंट हैव टू एटलीस्ट क्लोज द पोजीशंस बिकॉज मार्केट इज नाउ मूविंग इन अ, यू कैन से नॉट उसका ट्रेंड वीक हो रहा है, राइट. RSI everything was stochastic. I will not go into that because the basic things that what people use. And momentum based strategies, the Donchain channel, and we have EDX, directional index size and everything. These are the strategies that people use for indicator. Even this MACD histogram वो भी आप use कर सकते हो for indicator, but they are very lag and they are very difficult to trade when the market is very volatile. And most of the people जो भी बहुत लोग इसको use करते हैं because they are readily available to everything, Fibonacci and pivot based strategies. So the important thing out here to realize कि pivot and everything जो है that is fine कि what you use it, but ये सब strategies का एक ही crux है कि even if you try to find this, if I draw a pivot from here to here, Fibonacci, so on this day it has given me a very good, आप यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं ब्लू लाइन जो है, दिस इज द ब्लू लाइन. आई थिंक इट माइट नॉट बी विजिबल, 1.61 that we say, right? So why the Fibonacci is also working in this, ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. Fibonacci doesn't always work everything. यहाँ पे अगर ये ब्रेकआउट के बाद अगर आप 61.8 ये दिखने के बाद what people show in YouTube, ये एग्जांपल आपको दिखेंगे, but they won't show you this example or they won't show you this kind of a trend वाला example. If you look at this, तो यहाँ पे वर्क किया कि कुछ ना कुछ तो कभी ना कभी वर्क करेगा ही ना, राइट? और एल्स उसका सिस्टम का सेंस क्या है? एवरीथिंग विल वर्क सम टाइम और अदर. इवन MACD डाइवर्जेंस विल वीक सम टाइम पे भी काम करेगा. RSI divergence will work. RSI overbought will also work sometimes beautifully under selling and overbought. But sometimes in case of PC dwellers and in case of what you can say jet average and everything, they'll fail, right? Because the emotions are so high over there. Dr. Reddy's they'll fail. The emotions are so high over there that it is not at all a structured move. So now if you look at the Fibonacci over here, ये तो अभी चलो भाग का होगा. अब मैं यहाँ से अगर if I draw from the starting of the trend. So the purpose of this to tell you is that analysis is only a small part of what. And once you understand price action, सब एकदम आसान. अब यहाँ पे ये now it is saying is actually यहाँ तक का we know the particular thing. Now the important thing is that market यहाँ पे जो है this after this move market यहाँ पे पहले रुका था, right? What you need to understand is now at least आप इसलिए please listen to it carefully कि यहाँ पे यूनी मार्केट has created its own level. यहाँ पे तो फिबोनाची नहीं पता था उसे, right? Market went up and ये level बनी नहीं थी. After this level was made, I created this Fibonacci from the downtrend to uptrend. After what happens? Now these are the zones. 382, 0.618 and ये सब zones है, right? But do you know कहाँ पे रुकेगा वो? यहाँ पे रुकेगा या यहाँ पे रुकेगा? Do you know? No, right? And you can see the selling volumes are also high over here. It is not very less. So you cannot see the selling volumes are low. But do you know will it stop over here? No. So why? Because there are techniques. This is not so simple कि आपने stock YouTube में ये दिखा देंगे 38.2% पे आप buy करते यहाँ पे देखिए आपको इतना अच्छा profit होगा. And यहाँ पे आप stop loss को जिसके नीचे रखते you would have a profit. But had the stock gone till here, they would have shown you this level. So you need to understand that it is logical to understand कि वहाँ पे कहाँ रुकेगा. That we definitely it is very difficult for us to share and वो it is not fair from our part also because then we at least वो सब चीजें we cover that in our sessions in a detailed manner. But you need to understand also कि आपको ये चीज समझ में आनी चाहिए कि you can probability you can predict कि वहाँ तक कैसा हो रहा है. But there are certain different things rather than just price and volume. The order flow, that is the most important thing. The best indicator that you can ever, what the volume profile and all this traders that you can see is the understanding the order flow in the market. It is the most beautiful thing that you can ever do in the market. And once you understand that, your trading journey towards prosperity in trading will become quite good in the market, right? So now it's already around 3 o'clock and I'm also not able to speak that much. My throat is also paining, so I can. So Gaurav can also, if he wants, he can take over from the next slides. Hello. Okay, I think it's an issue with this technical connection. So over here, the life cycle of trader, which we have which we have at least what you need to understand over here is that for the life cycle of a trader, it is like once you score a winner, then you think that you don't need education, you think that you need everything. And when you lose money, then at the same time, then you think that okay, you need education. But once again, after you win, you think that okay, no, it is I won that, I don't need anything and everything. So the proper way is that in Friday also I had showed this slide. The proper way for a trader it should be, he should invest in education, develop good strategies, and he should take the logical way, and then at least nobody would be there. Depending on how hard work also he puts, that is also important. If you have done, the path can become very easy, but it also depends on your interest and passion. If you have a genuine interest and passion, you will definitely do well in trading. Right? Nobody can stop you. And what you can see, this is the trader should really do in swing trading and everything. Try to understand and how to develop swing strategy. I'll cover that in the next session because today it would be very difficult for me to cover that. And how to develop your own swing strategy, that is third part. We'll cover it in next Sunday. So try to understand the phase of the market, mark the critical zones. There are not only support and resistance which people misconceive. It is the order flow from where the order flow has initiated. And wait for price action at this zone, and then you can enter aggressive or conservative based on your capital and risk management. And these three things should be in harmony while you are in trade: mind and body language, your trading system, analysis, and timing. Timing is very important. If you don't have timing, you have everything. You will not make money in the market. yeah, risk management. Right. So our contribution over here is that price action, psychology, money management over here that we sessions that we conduct and the addition is also the care family where we it's an open discussion group where you can discuss with anybody, and this is all the price structure. The session is structured based on a basic and advanced session. So you will learn end to end of every month. In future, we will also be launching an options strategies where at least working people who want that we can they can avail that. But it will take some time because we are also practicing on the same. Also, there would be a 6 month addition to premium chart. If you want to take that, you can take it. So it would help you in stock selection and also how to trade a particular selected stock. So we will guide you till that particular time frame. We do put all the stocks. Those some of you would be added in the premium channel. So वहाँ पे हम सब आपको stocks everyday वो सब हम डालते रहते हैं और जिनका सेशन सब खत्म हो जाता है उनके लिए वीकली डाउट सॉल्विंग सेशंस भी रहता है. So it's kind of a continuous process. It is not just anything की जो what we want to tell you about कि बस ये सेशन आप कर लो वो सब. It's kind of a lifelong continuous association process. That's why we have put the name of our group as KR Family, because we believe that if we want everybody should be on the same platform and everybody should at least do well in trading, and that is our main goal. Right. So thank you for the session, and it's very difficult for me to speak because of throat infection now, but I'll appreciate your time and for this, and hope that you would also keep on gaining knowledge. And in case you're interested in connecting with us, you can get back to us through our Telegram. Okay, thank you for your time and God bless you.